Y'all planning for this?
Welcome back, TPR Nation. This is Jamie Shalansky in an episode of Worlds to Conquer, and today's episode is going to be magical because we are going to be talking about the words abracadabra. If you don't speak Hebrew, and I do not, but I happen to learn this, we use the words abracadabra, and it was actually translated into magical as a joke about Catholicism and transubstantiation. But the definitions of the word, if you go back to the actual Hebrew that's involved in it, is the words abracadabra, and it's broken down into two separate words. And what these words mean, abra means I will create. Cadabra means as I will speak. I will create as I speak. I will create as I speak. This is a lot like what we talked about with reincarnated thoughts. Our words have power. Words have meaning. And as we visualize what we want that future to look like, as we are building our financial advisory practice, we must speak the truths that are most important to us. We must create as we speak, because the world around us will take form and will take shape based on the power of our words and our thoughts. We've all heard this before where we said what we think becomes what we speak becomes what our truth is. I am the #1 cheerleader in the world for the power of thought because I truly believe that. If you think it, you speak it, you act it, that will become your truth. And how many of you really meet some great people in your life and think, wow, they're really nice, they mean well, but my goodness, their negativity is constant. It's constantly surrounding me. I've got great people in my life who I think the world of them, but I have to take them in small doses because they're always talking about their bad luck, their unfortunate situations. And, a general contractor ripped them off. The asphalt has a crack in it. All of these different things that keep happening because they keep speaking these truths into existence. Do misfortunes happen? Yes, they happen all the time to us. And most of the time, hopefully, they are just minor inconveniences. But the more negativity we put out in that world, the more negativity we are going to have right back at us. So today, let's talk about your truth. Your truth. What is your truth? Who do you serve? What do you want? Who are you going to be in the next 3 to 5 years? Who is that person that is waiting for you to become who they need you to be? And I want to talk to you about this because I was recently speaking to a young financial advisor, and he said, oh, this is a page right out of the TPR playbook. Here's how I'm going to design my practice, and I'm going to go make millions of dollars. Is money a significant reason why we became financial advisors? Hell yes. It is a motivating factor, right? We want to earn money. We want to have financial freedom. We want to have a certain lifestyle. But if you get away from all of the conversations about how much revenue you're making as a financial advisor and where you need to be, why are you really a financial advisor? Is it for the money, or is it because you have the power to change people's lives? You have the power to change multiple generations of lives. And if you are in financial planning solely and exclusively for the money, you will always be chasing it. And I'm sorry, I don't like to run. I want money to chase me, not the other way around. And how do we do that? We do that by delivering so much value, the money comes to find us. And we know this because oftentimes, if you have a client that is a very successful business owner, they more than once have probably chatted with you about opportunities that came knocking on their door. They've probably chatted with you about, hey, so-and-so wants to start a business. They're looking for an investor. I don't know if I should get involved, or I've got this opportunity. Somebody's selling a house. They're selling a business. Whatever that situation is, those opportunities are finding them, not the other way around. And I think that's really a benchmark of success. When you've delivered so much value, when you've created a lifestyle of so much success that opportunities find you, you know that you have made it. My brother Micah and I Shalansky were just sparring about this last night, because one of the things that I often try to teach young people, especially as they're getting into the business, is I want you to focus on the value. I told my son Lane this when he got his first job at a bank. He was like, wow, I've got to get to 6 figures. I'm eager to get out of college. I want to get to 6 figures because I want to get to 7 figures one day. And I got to figure out how to do it. And he was hustling and scrambling and doing math over and over and over between gross and net and different jobs offered at the bank where he needed to move to next in order to get his income up. Because in his stage of life, his primary focus is on money. He lives independently. He's got bills. He wants to make sure they're taken care of, and he wants financial freedom. He has goals he wants to achieve that are powered by how much money he has. So we must have played, Lane and I, the money game 17 different times where he's sitting down, he's figuring out gross, net, what is the trajectory of how much somebody could earn as a bank controller, what could they do as an investment banker, all of these different scenarios to try to figure out where he wants to be. And I played the game several times till I got so frustrated because he's missing the forest for the trees. So finally I slammed my hand down on the table, Floyd Shalansky move, and I said, stop. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You're chasing money and you need money to chase you. And he's like, well, how do I do that? I don't understand how I do that. And I said, the only thing you need to be focused on right now is going into your job and being as valuable as possible. Be as indispensable as possible. I want you to absorb everything. Don't treat anyone as if they don't know something. Treat everyone as if they have a secret and you have to figure out what that secret knowledge is. Be curious. Ask questions. Don't make assumptions. Reason things out. Come back and be level. Find a way that you begin to saturate yourself into this organization and you become the first name on somebody's lips when they're looking for a new job to be filled or a new role or somebody to do training with another employee. You need to be the very first person that they think of. And if you're running around looking at the company's job openings, you're going to look like you don't have a plan. You don't know what your career is. You don't know where you want to be because you are hustling so freaking hard chasing money that you're not providing any value. You're so hyper focused on making $1 million that you're never going to earn it because that's all that you're thinking about constantly. Instead, I want you to focus on being as valuable and as indispensable and as curious as you possibly can be. And when he listened to that advice, his branch is in a different city and they were having a training session. It was offered to the employees to be virtual. He said, listen, if I pay my own way, would you guys mind if I come up to the branch? I really want to learn from everyone. And when you guys have breakout sessions, I think that's an ample opportunity for me to network, talk to other people, and really get that hands-on experience. And they said, great, yes, absolutely. Come on up and we'll have you here for the training. And when the training concluded, his boss asked him, said, hey, could I take you to the airport? And he said, yeah, absolutely. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much. And in the car, they said, by the way, you've been crushing it at your current role, but we want to promote you. We want to bring you up to another level and we want to offer you this job. And here's a 30% pay raise in addition. This blew his mind. When he made that phone call to me, he was shaking with excitement. Never before in his life had he been recognized with so much skill set, so much knowledge, and so much to give that he voluntarily, without him even applying, without him scouring the website and looking for different jobs that offered him more money, it found him. They found him. They wanted him. And that was a powerful experience. So you, as a financial advisor, what are you doing to saturate yourself and provide so much value to your clients that the money finds you? What are you doing in order for your name to be on the lips of all of your clients anytime they're around their friends, their colleagues, their network, their kids, that they're constantly coming back and talking about you? What are you doing to become a household name for your clients when it comes to money? So write it down on a sheet of paper. What is your truth? Why did you get in this business? Why did you become a financial advisor? And if your number one reason is money, you have a problem. When you are only focused on the money, what will end up happening is that your clients will get to hear and know about other financial advisors who are only focused on the value. And we will take your clients every single day of the week. They will come to us in droves because they know our truth. They see the value. value and they want to work with an individual who is passionate about making sure that they are taken care of and assisting them and delivering value. Money is a byproduct of what we are doing. And is it the reason that we make powerful decisions? Is it the reason that we decide what rooms we're going to rent, how much staff we're going to have, what kind of house we're going to buy? All of those really important factors. Yes, 100%. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. When I say don't focus on the money, focus on the value, it is not because I believe that we should just philanthropically be out there helping the masses. I don't have that in me. I think there are great people that love to do that. That's not me. I want to help people who are passionate about helping themselves. I want to help people that are honest, that don't mind paying for services, and see the value in what I provide. Now, a lot of financial advisors, when I ask this next question, they are going to give me some BS answer that they have not honestly sat down, scoured through their book, and made sure it aligned with what they are going to say. So I'm going to ask it to you, and then we're going to pause. And I want you to think about all of your clients. And the first ones that pop up are going to be ones that you think hit this mold. But I guarantee you, if you went back and you evaluated your book, this might not be the case for everyone. So it's a really important tool that you need to pull out and use when you're outside a search. Who do you serve? Who do you serve? Who are your clients? Who do you work best with? Now, number one answer I get from financial advisors. I work with pre-retirees, people that are 5 years away from retirement. Those are my average clients. They have $1 million to $3 million worth of assets. No, I bet that's not true. Go look at your book of business and see, is that really the case? Are you really working with people that are 5 years away from retirement? In most cases, the retirement is at an age of 65. So is your book of business primarily 60-year-olds? No, that's not possible, right? Because it's always ebbing and flowing as people age. We have attrition, we have younger people coming in, etc. And this is where people get confused. This is where people say, well, we should just help people for the sake of helping people. No, you should help people that are willing to pay for your services. I don't go to the grocery store expecting them to just give me organic food. I go in there and I make a deliberate choice about how I want to spend my money. So I don't mind working with the younger generation. I don't mind working with those 30 and 40-year-olds that are just getting out of school and got their first jobs as attorneys, as doctors, and all of these other professionals, as long as they're willing to pay me. And this is the difference. As long as they're willing to pay me, I want to work with them. So what we do at Shalansky & Associates is we go back and we say, listen, every client needs to be bringing in X amount of revenue for the firm. That's how we design our business model. Now, I know we just talked about not focusing on the money, but don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Money is an essential byproduct of delivering a lot of value. Money is an important thing to focus on. It cannot be our primary focus, or we are always going to be chasing it. So do we have to be good stewards? Do we have to sit down and evaluate our business? 100%. And if you don't belong to a business planning committee, you need to. You need to find organizations of other business owners that you're sitting down and you're doing these financial pulse points, you're developing your KPIs, and you're making sure you have a good thermostat of what's happening with your practice. Thermostat, not thermometer. Thermostat, not thermometer. Thermostat is the temperature you set. Thermometer is the response to the environment. So we want to make sure that we're sitting down and we look at our entire book and we say, okay, listen, in order for us to hit our business model goals, here's what a person has to pay. Now, this is the number one objection I get from people, that they say, I don't want to work with people that aren't pre-retirees because I'm going to have to wait way too long to get the assets. Okay, now what are you focused on? You are focused on the mass AUM and not about delivering value and not about the fees that you could be charging. So if you play your cards right, and if you deliver a lot of value, and if the client is willing to pay you, this is one of the big reasons I like financial planning fees, because I don't mind when a 25-year-old comes in and says, hey, listen, I just got out of college. I'm getting this amazing package from a hospital that I want to start working on. I got a ton of student loan debt. Help me figure this out. How do I figure this out? As long as they're willing to pay. Now, if they cannot pay for those services, I'm not going to subsidize them. Everyone in the Shalansky & Associates office, you get 5 clients a year, 5 clients that you get to subsidize. If you have 6, 7, or 8, that 6th, 7th, and 8th comes out of your pocket. You have to pay for them. So you have to figure out who are your 5. And when you give it a place to live, when you give it a number to be really specific about, you'll recognize that how closely you hold those 5 for the opportunity to maybe one of those 5 is helping your most affluent client, helping their adult child. Maybe that's how you position it. Most of the time in our office, we charge the adult child. Why? I want them to have skin in the game and not think mom and dad are paying for everything. I want them to be empowered, and I want them to get used to having to pay for services. So I have that conversation with the parent. I say, listen, I'd love to talk to them. I think it's really important that they develop some of your values around money. I know how hardworking you are, and I know how important that is to you. So I'm going to charge them this fee because I want them to have skin in the game. I don't want this to be something mom and dad are harping at them to do or them to think it's free. And the clients I work with, they're thumbs up. They're 100% on board with that. Now, with that being said, if you really do work with only pre-retirees, as some financial advisors I meet with do, fantastic, good. That's your truth. That's okay. That's what you're designing your model to be like. So when I ask, who do you serve? This isn't just who you want to serve, but who are you actually serving? And if those people are outside of that model, are you going to graduate them? Are you going to find another advisor who's delivering massive value? Or are you going to keep them because you're accustomed to them? What is the blend? What is your action plan? I'm not saying you should do one strategy versus the other, but you need to know what is your truth? Who do you serve? That is so important to understand. Now, one of the things that I like to do, especially with my business owner clients, is when we say, who do we serve? We don't say everybody. If you serve everybody, you've served nobody. If you don't have a marketing plan, you don't have a strategy, you don't have an avatar of who your ideal client is that goes beyond their age and beyond their AUM, then you're not going to ever market effectively to that group of people. An exercise that I run a lot of my business clients through. Who is that person? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? How many kids do they have? Do they homeschool? Do they public school? What brands do they buy? What size house do they normally have? What automobiles do they have? And you start going through and you will find oftentimes people that fit a certain demographic have very selective similarities. Like we know a lot of people that drive Subarus and a lot of people that drive Mercedes. And the people that drive Mercedes are a certain group of people. If we start defining where they shop and how they shop and their qualities, whether or not they're business owners, when we look at the Subaru individuals, who are they? Where do they shop? What do they purchase? How many times, how frequently do Subaru owners replace their vehicles? You can always tell when a Subaru owner is getting rid of a vehicle because they literally watch it drive off, waving away at it. I've never done that with a vehicle. But this is a sentimentality thing with Subaru people. And so what does that demographic look like? Where do they shop? Where do they target things? And what similar interests do they have? You know, one of the really great takeaways is a lot of times when we were growing up, my dad said, hey, a lot of deals are made on the golf course. You kids need to learn to play golf. And a lot of deals are made on the tennis court. You kids need to learn how to play tennis. And we would do all of these things. Guess what? I live on a golf course and I hate golf. I don't like golf. I like hitting things, but walking around all day long, chasing a ball and wondering where the drink cart lady is not my idea of a good time. Now, my idea of a good time, you want to go hatchet throwing or ninja stars? Shoot, I'm in. That sounds great. That sounds more my area of expertise. So if somebody invites me golfing, I'm going to say, you know what? Thank you so much. I absolutely hate golf, but I'd love to meet you with you at the country club because I love eating. And so we make a pivot or something. Don't go do something that you hate to do because it will come out. So a lot of times when we do marketing events, we look around, who do we serve? My brother, Micah Shalansky, he loves to shoot. He's a great shot. He does competitive shooting. And so he will throw events. And we've done this with clients. We've had client events where we went to some place that was a tactical shop. And we said, hey, listen, we want to throw a client event and we want to have this gun course. What do you think about hosting it for X amount of people? And for the right demographic, they were were super excited about this. They said, oh my gosh, I can't believe. And when that weekend concluded, guess what they went around and did? They went around and told everyone, I just attended this gun class, blah, 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 blah. And people said, oh, I didn't know you were into shooting. How did you get invited to that? And they said, oh, my financial advisor, the Shalanskys, you should definitely go talk to them. They're amazing. And guess what that person who is hearing this story about how the financial advisor took them out for a fun afternoon of shooting with a professional, guess what, how that's making them feel? They're making them think about their probably broker, not financial planner, and going, my financial advisor doesn't do something like that with me. They don't normally do those type of activities. So if you do the things that you're interested in and find the community, you will have a far more enjoyable experience. You'll be more relaxed, and you'll be around people that, if you really sit down and evaluate your book of business, are probably aligned to who you want to serve. And this ties right back to the fact of, who do you want to be in the next 5 years? I don't want to be the lady and advisor, miserable on the golf course with a bunch of people I am now obliged to go golfing with, because what we started in the beginning is what lasts until the end. This is true of relationships. This is true of parenting. This is true of running employees. And this is true of bringing on prospects and clients. What you started in the beginning is the expectation of how it needs to be until the end. So I don't like to do those events that I will do one time and then stop because I don't enjoy them. So if you don't enjoy that activity, such as golf or tennis or whatever, then don't go do it. If you love playing pickleball, go do that. One of my favorite trips with clients was mountain biking, and we all had a hilarious time. In fact, when I just met with them yesterday, we made an inside joke about what one of the gals said on the biking trip, which was when she was going over a jump, and she burned bad. It was awful. And she said, well, not all of us have to be good at everything. And we just laughed, and we had a really good memory about that. So do the things that you enjoy doing, because you are in preparation of being the person that you want to be in the next 5 years. So surround yourself with people and energy that you want to be and have in your life in that next 5 years. If your goal is to make $1 million, then you need to back into that. Because if the only goal is $1 million, then you have no idea or concept around what $1 million will bring to your life. When you earn $1 million, who are you then? What lifestyle does your family have? What does your day-to-day operations look like? How much value do you have to deliver in order to have that level of income? So often we get so fixed on a monetary goal that we've given no consideration to what our life will look like. And think about this. When you had your very first job, you were probably hustling to figure, gosh, how do I break the $100,000 barrier? How do I get my income to $100,000? And then once you earned $100,000, then guess what? It wasn't good enough. You wanted to earn $250,000, and that's okay. That's an amiable goal. But once you earn $250,000, then it's $500,000. And when it's $500,000, then it's $1 million. And so as we keep setting these goals, who are we becoming? What are we doing this for? And if you can't answer that question, then that $1 million is going to be $2 million. And it's going to be 3 and 4 and 5. And you're never, ever, ever going to be satisfied with who you are becoming. Money is important. If you are a financial advisor because you're interested in money, that's okay. That's a good thing. But if it is your driving force, if it is the only ambition in which you have, nothing you achieve will be good enough. It is a forever moving goal post. No matter where you are at in your career, you need to be taking the time. Here's where we're going to dive into our action items. Action item number 1. What is your truth? What is your truth? What is your purpose? What are you doing all of this for? When are you living in your truth? And if you don't know, start with when you are living outside of it, because sometimes that's more easy to recognize. When we enter a room, when we're doing a situation, when we're in an action that feels so incredibly uncomfortable, it makes our skin crawl, our stomach turn, and we're just really unhappy with that experience, it is because something in that experience means we are living outside of our truth. But only you You can define your truth. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody can define what is your truth. You have to do the legwork. You have to get out the head trash. You have to sit down and decide, who are you? And then second of all, who do you want to be? In the next 5 years, who is that person? Who are you? What does your day-to-day look like? What does your family look like? What does your spirituality look like? Who are you striving to become? And then you must echo it with the next action item, which is, who do you serve? Who do you serve? We are in the financial planning industry to cause massive impact. We want a tidal wave of generational changing consequences by providing so much value to good, honest, hardworking individuals that success is a byproduct of all the value that we derive. So when that comes to answering that question, you have to know, who do you serve? And if the answer is everyone, then it is no one. You have not really taken the time to be disciplined about asking yourself, who do you serve? Who do you work best with? Who do you connect with? And look over your book of business. Because oftentimes when I tell you, and I hear it over and over again, Jamie, you say don't focus on the money, but then people come right back and you focus on the money. Yes, focusing on money is an important quality. It's a good aspect, but it can't be the only one. You have to answer these bigger questions, and then the money finds you. Then you back into the money. So who are you serving? And then what is your community like? What business associations have you joined? One of the most powerful part about being a TPR member is Backstage Pass or Invictus. Our Invictus members, they get this. They know it. Remember, Backstage Pass is oftentimes like getting a gym membership. All the equipment is there. You get access to everything, but you got to put in the energy. You got to know what you want. You got to get the tools out. You've got to do the work. And Invictus, you still have access to that entire gym, but now you have a dietitian. Now you have a coach. Now you have somebody holding your hand and saying, okay, great, let's analyze your practice. But if you want somebody constantly pushing you to the greatness that you have within, those are our Invictus members. Unconquerable souls, ones that know they are captains of their own ship and want something better. So what are your key performance indicators? Where are you measuring success? How do you know if you are on track to get to where you want to be? And start with who you want to be in the next 5 years and who you are now. Who do you serve? All of these supporting factors, and back into the money, and the money will find you. Okay, TPR Nation, this is Jamie Shalansky in an episode of Worlds to Conquer. Go find people who share your values and change the world.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother,